What's up? What's up? What's up? So I'm testing out this little mic I bought in the past. So we'll see. I think it sounds better than the other story reels. I'm remaking one that I actually already made before. Um, and no, I'm not using a script, which I'm probably gonna start doing that too. Maybe a little bit, just to kind of stay on topic, because I tend to start talking about something, and sometimes I end up on the other side of the street. But um, I hope you guys are doing well. So this is about relationships. I am not an expert. All I can do is share my experience and, you know, keep you from making a mistake or just give you a tip or suggestion. That's really the main reason why I'm doing these. Um, you know, had some fucks. Had some fuck ups. Oh, you know what? Right now I'm laughing because I was watching. This made me think about something. Before we get into it, I was watching this Gary V video earlier, and they were like, the girls all like, "That's something about Frit," and then he's like, "Well, over here we say fuck." That's what Gary V said, and he's like, "I'm trying to get you to say fuck," or I'm trying to get you to. So he said it just sounded bad the way it sounded. He's like, "I'm trying to get you to fuck" or something, and he meant to say, he meant to say like, "I'm trying to get you to say fuck," and it just sounded bad, and I don't know why I just thought about that. Anyway, um, so this is about like I said, I'm not a relationship expert, but um, I've been in a couple relationships in the past, some short, some long, and I want to start off by saying I believe we all have skeletons in the closet. Some more, some less, some bad, some worse. That's kind of to each his own judgment. And I have like I am an honest person. Actually, I'm an honest person, but I have lied and cheated in the past to the wrong person. Um, I don't know why it's weird sometimes. Like I was talking to this guy back when I used to work with this guy. I used to do carpet cleaning, and he told me that. And again, I'm going off. I'm segueing into my going off. But he's like, you know what? He was a womanizer before, and he was telling me that that he would lie to his woman or his women, but he would never mistreat his guy friends or never lie to anyone else. You know. And that was kind of the case with me. Well, it was just really with one person. Um, and over time, my guilty conscience caught up with me. Like the past became the present, and I had a little bit of depression for a period of time. Um, they didn't really last too long. I don't know. Anytime I went through something crazy, for some reason, they just a couple weeks or something. But that's not the point. The point is like my guilty conscience caught up with me because I knew everything I did, all the stuff I did. And I'm not pointing names, right? But that person she knew some stuff I did too. I did some stuff in front of her. Like, that was screwed up. I'm trying not to say fucked up, but it was fucked up. And I did some real crazy, like, stupid things. And why did I do those things? Well, in my head, I justified some of it. I justified like, oh well, the relationship, like I had to go through this, so I'm gonna do this. I'm young. Um, I'm young. I'm in college or whatever. I'm partying. I'm living the life. I'm not married. I could fuck around, get away with it. Sometimes when you don't get caught doing certain things, it sounds crazy, but it gives you the confidence to keep doing it in a way. So it's that and I also had some resentment too. I was like, kind of like, sometimes I was stuck in the. Now that I realize it, sometimes I was stuck in the past because there were certain like women in the past that thrown themselves at me, and at the time, like in the beginning, like, or I would just say they thrown themselves at me, and I wasn't available. I was in a relationship and I was being faithful, and those thoughts like stayed in my head like, oh, she wanted me in the past, you know? And like in the present moment, like I don't know, it kind of like it was weird. It was like I would bring those thoughts would come back to the present moment. So I started pursuing that, you know, if that makes sense. But and also having back like a conviction to do, like, you know, you could believe, like you could make that into a very very strong belief, like, you know, I'm young, I'm partying, I'm this and that, you know, I'm not married, to justify doing certain things, like, oh, I'm doing favors for people, you know, and so I could get away with this and like stuff like that, which is not good. um and plus like more than 75% of the time I was under the influence. I mean, I was doing stuff, bad stuff, even before, like not being under influence, but even when I was in the influence, it just made me that much more reckless. So, um, yeah, my guilty conscience caught up. I started to admit some stuff because it was just like wrong. And then it got to a point where I was like, you know what? If I ever do this to this person again, I will say the truth or I'm leaving the relationship because it's just fucked up. You know, it just caught up. I'm like, man, I can't do that. It's like if you're eating and you're sleeping with someone and you wake up with someone the next day and you talk to that person more than you talk to other people and you look at that person in their eye and you kiss that person, like it was just like it wasn't cool, you know, because like I said, deep inside, like I don't know, I always believed in loyalty and just like being real with people. So it started to catch up to me, you know. And it was like I don't know, I wouldn't say I have addictive personality, but just looking back, you know, I'm not trying to throw out too much information out there, but just looking back, like now that I understand more things and just like learned about health too, like a lot of it was like a dopamine rush too, you know. It was like a high, you know, when you talk to someone new, it's, you know, it's exciting at first. And then you learn that, well, yeah, like I've learned that, you know, in a relationship, like all the high when it comes, I'm gonna go off on my segueing again. That things like external things, whether that's sex or addiction, like they last a little bit. You know, it lasts a little bit, then it goes away. You know, so then you have to work on the relationship. Like you have to actually like work on it too. And you know, I'm not gonna get too deep into it, but obviously you have to have like a strong connection with that person, and maybe on a spiritual level, like have much more common interest than just like, you know, she looks good or not or this and that. And I'm not saying that wasn't the case in the relationship. We had a lot of stuff in common. I'm just saying. Um, so okay, back to where the heck, man, tell me to be. Um, so basically, you know, I had some issues. Like, I learned a lot from the relationship. Um, it was just an amazing experience overall, all the bad and the good. And it's like sometimes I was just fighting my bad voice, you know, a lot. Like especially in the beginning and stuff. Over time, I started to really change. You know, I stopped like little by little. Like that's another thing too. I'm gonna go off on my fucking segueing again. Change takes time. Like I don't know. I don't like it just takes time. There's no like this fucking magic pill or I'm not like I've heard of like black magic and all that stuff, but it's like for something that just like there's things that you can change right away. Like if it's such a dramatic situation in your life or just like you just had enough, like yeah, you could split through that, but for the most part, like I mean, everything was kind of gradual, you know. So, and I mentioned that like the black magic, like you put, you know, I don't know, I hear like you know, you try to do that or whatever. Like I hear some people do this, like then you're magically gonna become this or that, or you're gonna wish this upon. Like things take time to go bad. Like failures happen sometimes because of little things that go wrong over time, you know. So what I'm getting at is like, took me a while, like little by little, I started to admit stuff, and then I stopped like you know, I stopped drinking less and less. That's like stopped drinking like harder alcohol. Well, for me, it was a problem. Like I'll tell you straight, it was a problem. Like out of all the people I hung out, I was always fucking. It's just reckless, man. But um, it just took time. You know, little by little, started to change. Just stopped doing this. You know, stop drinking and just like I said, going back, I told myself if I were to ever do that, I would either tell the truth or walk away. And guess what? I ended up fucking up again. You know, I so I ended up cheating, and that was bad. So I admitted it, and like I kept my word, and it was just bad. And I would suggest you doing that if you're going through something like that, you know, because it was like urges. Like I said, I had to fucking like say I was fighting myself. Like there was times where it's like, man, like you want to do it and you don't, and sometimes you don't do it, you feel good, and then like I don't know, like what I'm saying, like you don't do it, like you listen to your good voice, listen to your good voice, put the bad voice aside as much as you can. But the reason I say that, that might be a good way to stop you if you're doing that to your partner, that's what really, like, that was the last time that happened to me. After that, I just couldn't do it. Like I couldn't do it again because I had told myself, and I had to keep my, like, you have to like hold yourself accountable. um but yeah, and then like I said, I've done another thing too. I'm gonna segue into, you know there's this book called The Five Love Languages, and for anyone out there who has a spouse, your girlfriend, or your significant other, I'd recommend this book to anybody. I think it's by Gary Chapman. It talks about understanding each other, and the reason I'm talking about that book is because I went through that book. We did some what the fuck I was gonna say, consult. We went to what the heck? What am I trying to? I want to say therapy, but what is the word I'm looking for? God damn. I will have to get back to that. But we did the book, counseling. There you go. We did some I did some relationship counseling. That helps too, man. That helps. And then the book is good. So the five love languages. Let's get into that. So this book, like, basically, different people. Everyone has a different love language, right? I think there's a book about five work languages or something like that too. But anyway, back to this book. Gary S. Chapman, the author, he talks about basically like everyone has a different love language, right? Some people receive, like, they interpret it or like some of the language may be like action, right, or time, or gifts, or praise. So praise, like, telling them, hey, hey babe, or whatever, or hey babe, or hey, your girlfriend's name, or hey, you look pretty today, or you look nice, look at that outfit, blah blah blah. Action, doing something for them. um and then that's praise, and then action, and then spending time with them, and then some, I think, one's touch and feel or something. So basically the book helps you understand what your love language may be, what your partner's love language is, so that way you could exchange information, or exchange, like, know which one you are, so you can practice that. Because sometimes when I'm getting into this, sometimes like there could be a lot of miscommunication and problems in the relationship because you don't fully understand each other. It might not be an attraction thing or anything like that. I mean, there's a lot of factors, I'm sure, but it could be like, you're just not understanding the partner. You're doing things like, don't you don't, what the fuck? Trying to say like three different things at the same time. You don't understand your partner, so you may be do like, saying things, or like, oh, why doesn't she get that, or she gets mad, you're like, what the hell, why'd you get mad, and then then that becomes another fight and stuff. So it just helps you understand it, and then rate yourself, like, okay, my love language is from 1 to 5: action, feel, touch, time. And basically you get to practice that. And I think it's very helpful. It did help, especially in my relationship. Like, it did help just to know that, like, okay, she likes gifts, so get them gifts. Some people are more like time wars, so it's good to know that stuff, so that way, if you when you do get into arguments and stuff like that, it'll be easier for you to get through those, and just understand each other better, and understand yourself better too, to know what you like. It's like, damn, why'd you get mad? Like, what? Yeah, like, oh, she gets mad because you don't understand, and then that brings another problem. Like, what the fuck? So yeah, I wanted to, that was one thing, just mentioning that book, recommending that book to you guys. And like, for relationships, like, we I think we all make mistakes, but it's good to try to learn from it. Don't, like, yeah, keep making that same mistake forever. Because you have to learn from it, and if you don't, then like you're gonna keep doing that to the next partner. So it's like, I don't know. I learned that the hard way, and I'm just like, I never, like, because it came back to me. Some of the stuff I did, like, it came back. I don't know. I'm not gonna sit here and, like, the karma things, that's another conversation, and actually a book I went through, which is interesting. I'm gonna go through it again because I didn't fully understand it. that talks about karma and stuff. But like, I mean, that came back like I seen some crazy shit. Like it came back like I'd say 5 times worse to me. So um, even before that, like I said, I wouldn't do it. Like at that point, even before that happened to me, I was already dead on. Like nah, it's either you're single or you're in a relationship. You know, for me. And moving forward, that's just the way it is because it's like there's so many people like guys. There's so many women out here that are single and women. There's so many guys out there that are single. It's like you're opening up a can of worms, you know, when you do that. And hopefully the other person is truthful about it when they say they are not in a relationship or they are single, you know. You just open up a can of worms and then it's like I don't know, I don't know, you're for me in my case like it's just breaking a lot of values and just like it's not right, you know, even to do that to your friend's friend or somebody like in general, it's like just not right. You know, I don't even care if it's an enemy, I still wouldn't do it. First I was like I don't know, just opening up a can of worms and like problems and there's a lot of bad connotations in the music. Like, oh, I fuck, you know, I did this to your girl. It's like, I don't know, fuck. There's so many single women out there. Like, why you don't even need to be doing that, you know? And it's like, damn, bro. It's like if it was my enemy, it's like, fuck, bro. I don't even want your sloppy seconds anyway. You know? It's like, I mean, you got a sister, you got a cousin, shit. You know? But yeah, guys, you know, be good to your spouse, man. Be good to your peeps. You know, treat your peeps good. Good people that care about you. And go through that book if you're in a relationship. If you're planning on getting into one, I mean, it works. You know, you'll probably be more interested in if you're in a relationship. I mean, I think it's good for you to go through it. I mean, especially if you're married to your partner, it's not gonna hurt you if you go through the book, and you wouldn't know anyway until you actually go through the book. You know, like read it. And then there's also another book about like 101 questions to ask before you get engaged, which is interesting. Um, but I haven't fully went through that. Definitely will sometime. Um, but yeah, guys, don't be on that fuckery, man. You know, do good with your peeps. Hope you learned something and hope this helped. You have a good one.